My prayer life, I feel like as I've been a Christian the whole time, has always been kind of inconsistent and full of doubt a lot of times, and kind of wondering, is God really listening to me? And if he is listening, doubting that he will actually answer my prayers. And it's always been just inconsistent. There's been some meaningful times in there, but just full of doubt, and then also just not being able to focus when praying, just sitting there and thinking in my mind, praying to God, and just trailing off in different directions and getting frustrated with that. And it didn't really bother me until our church not long ago, over the summer before we moved to Cooper Junior High, Joel asked us to fast and pray for the move. And so I decided, yeah, this will be awesome, because fasting, I don't do that often. And praying, obviously, I always have wanted to grow in my prayer life. And so I did that. I started fasting in the amount that I felt I could, and praying during that time. But there was this one particular time where I started praying, and I couldn't focus at all. It was worse than ever, and I just felt so convicted in that moment, like, what's going on? Like, why can I not pray at all in this moment? And just really wanting to see a change come from that, and like trying to think of, how can I grow in my prayer life, and what's going to change to where I can actually focus and make this time meaningful and really connect with God. It had probably been a day or so after that, and I just remember the thought coming in my mind, like, you should start praying out loud. And I just knew it was from the Holy Spirit and from God that that's something I should do. It's something that's way out of my comfort zone. Like, I can pray out loud with my kids or friends at church, and that's not awkward to me, but for some reason being alone and talking out loud to God seemed really weird and strange. But I felt like that's what he was calling me to do, and I felt like it was almost going to be an act of faith by praying out loud, because if I truly believe that God is there with me listening, then I should be willing to pray out loud and talk to him just as I am a friend who's right there next to me. And so that's what I said I'm going to start doing, and I'm going to try to pray out loud. And I remember the first time was really awkward, and I sat there in silence for, gosh, I don't know how long, but it was really awkward. And when I finally spoke up, it was probably really quiet that first time and whispered, but I did it, and I kept doing it, and it became easier and easier each time. So after time and praying out loud to God, I feel like I have definitely grown in my prayer life, and it's been so much more meaningful than it ever has been. And I pray boldly and confidently now and loud. I'm not whispering those prayers, I'm doing it loudly. And it's just been awesome, because I feel like I believe God is truly listening to me. I've grown in my faith, knowing that he's listening to me, he cares for me, and he is answering prayers. And I feel like he's answered my prayers. I see those things being answered, and just growing in my prayer life. That was a prayer I always had, and so this is an answer to prayer that he brought me to this point. And so it's just been really awesome and encouraging. And I focus a lot more when I'm praying. I don't get distracted. When I'm praying out loud, I continue and pray a lot longer than I did. I'll look up and be like, whoa, that was 30 minutes, and I never used to barely make it maybe 5 minutes. So it's really just crazy how doing that simple thing of praying out loud has transformed my prayer life, and that God brought me to that realization. And I think it's just awesome to see back in the Bible that I believe Jesus prayed out loud. Like, this is probably something they've been doing, and it's just something I didn't know about, and just God put it in my mind, and I've been doing it, and it's been really amazing. And I feel connected with him, like I'm in a real relationship with him now, like I always was. But just to be able to pray out loud and talk to him and know that he's hearing me, and I'm praying these things out loud and speaking truth, and he's answering prayers, and it's just been really awesome.